firefly from hell. Big damn bug.
Oh, it is you. It is. A big you. I guess it's not bad that you're big. You're always bigger than me. But now, maybe this means you'll be twice as much fun.
Oh, no. It's finally happened. I'm having a total nervous breakdown.
Come on, Peter, follow me and all will be well.
Oh, my God, where are we going?
Save your children, of course.
How do you know about my kids?
Everybody knows. Captain Hook's got them, and you've got to fight them. Let's fly!
It's a great pleasure to welcome back to Cinema Showcase one of the world's greatest filmmakers, Mr. Steven Spielberg. Steven, thank you for taking this time out. It's very good to see you again.
Good to be here.
Thank you. Is it fair to say, I hate to use the term obsession, but is it fair to say that you've long had an obsession to bring Peter Pan to the screen?
Well, you know, I've had it in my life for so long. I had to put it somewhere. So the screen was the next stop for it, I imagine.
Because I remember reading all kinds of reports around the time of E.T. that Peter Pan might be your next project or whatever.
That's true.
But it's taken this long to find what, just the proper script or what?
Well, not even the proper script so much. It took a lot of time to find a new twist on the classic material, because for a while I was developing the actual, you know, Peter Pan story from the book and the play, with permission from the Children's Hospital in London. And actually, I got more involved with the Children's Hospital in London at that time. I was very moved by my experience of touring the hospital than I really did with Peter Pan. And when my son was born, I sort of became Mr. Darling to a little Peter Pan, and put the project behind me and didn't even think about it for a while. And then this new idea came along from the perspective of what if Peter Pan grows up, he's 40 years old, he doesn't remember that he was ever Peter Pan, and he has to go back to save his kids. And I thought, well, that's a really nice approach in the 90s to revisit Neverland, traditional, let it be a traditional Neverland, but let's revisit it from a modern perspective, a modern point of view.
Isn't it astonishing when you think about it, the incredible imagination that Sir James and Barrie had in creating all of these incredible characters?
And it all came from his life.
Yeah.
You know, what's interesting about Peter Pan, you know, and the reason he was the boy who was afraid to grow up was simply because his mother loved his brother more than she loved J.M. Barrie. And when the brother died, tragically, the mother was absolutely, she was out of her mind with grief. And J.M. Barrie even put on his deceased brother's clothes and pretended for a while to be his brother, and in a way had to arrest his growing up to be the son to the mom that she always loved better than J.M. Barrie himself. And I think a lot of that pain and torture inspired, you know, Peter Pan.
Exactly. And didn't he end up adopting 4 or 5?
Yes, he did, from another family, making the father very jealous, making the father of that family extremely competitive. And then when the father died of cancer, Barrie raised those children and supported them financially throughout their lives.
And how did it come to be that all or a large portion of the proceeds, whenever Peter Pan is done on stage, go to the Hospital for Sick Children in London? It
was the hospital that Barrie was very close to, and it's the hospital in whose rights Peter Pan was handed. Barrie just gave the hospital all the rights to his writings, and it became his favorite charity.
Your film Hook has, first of all, it's one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. Visually, it's incredibly striking, and it's directed with just an amazing amount of imagination. And I say this certainly without flattery, because you know from our past exchanges that I mean this. The direction's just filled with imagination.
Thank you.
And these sets, which are some of the most elaborate I've ever seen, I know were constructed on the fabled MGM sound stages. What was the most difficult set to work with? The
pirate ship, because it was just very big. It was a full-size pirate ship indoors, and with a full-size pier or wharf. And the difficulty, of course, was, it was interesting. I knew how big these sets were when I would every morning get out of breath between the walk from the main door up all these flights of stairs behind the scenes, wooden stairs everywhere, always hitting my head on some low overhanging beam. And by the time I got up the gang way onto the Jolly Roger itself, then I had to walk 2 more flights to where Long Tom, the great gun, was. you know, we were all panting. I was in pretty good shape during the movie too. We were all kind of out of breath. That's how large. That's when I finally said these are big sets.
Yeah.
And they were difficult to light because you know we had to make it look like we were outdoors.
Yeah. Now you're working on this film with Dean Cundey.
Yes.
And previously you've worked quite a few times with Alan Davio. Is there any
Yes.
reason why you chose to work with a different cinematographer?
No, it was just time for a change, and I thought it was time for a change. I felt that Dean, through my experience with him on the Roger Rabbit film, which he photographed, and also the 3 Back to the Futures, you know, for Bob Zemeckis that our company produced, I felt that Dean really had an old Hollywood kind of a really old
Right.
Hollywood sensibility, that he would know how to make Hook look like a show even more than a film. And he would really know how to light sets that large because he had done some remarkable work with Zemeckis prior to this.
Explain a bit, if you would, about your remarkable collaboration with John Williams. Williams' music adds so much to Hook, as indeed his music has to your films.
Yeah, he's great. Well, just that, you know, I had first heard John's music when I saw a movie when I was a kid called The Reavers and the Cowboys. And I heard the Cowboys score and I said, wow, that's as good as Aaron Copland. I was a big fan of Aaron Copland as a kid growing up with a classical musical background because my family was into music. And I just remember wanting him to score my first film, Sugarland. And we've done every movie together except for Color Purple. But
What
everything
happened
else,
there?
Simply, Quincy Jones was one of the producers,
Oh.
and Quincy Jones was one of the original producers. Quincy, of course, and deservedly, you know, wanted to express his feelings as a producer through the music, and so Quincy did the music for Color Purple.
Well, I must tell you, if there aren't a lot of Oscars passed around for Hook, I'm going to be awfully disappointed. I think it's most deserving.
Thank you.
What's your next project?
I have 2 projects I'm doing right now. One is called Schindler's List from the Thomas
Oh,
Keneally
great.
novel, and that's been a long time coming to fruition also. And then I'm doing a Michael Crichton book called Jurassic Park, which I don't start until November of next year because we're actually building full-size dinosaurs, and this is
Oh, my word.
This is like a headache revisited. I flash back to Jaws, and I'm saying, oh, please work, you know, please work.
Well, again, my congratulations to you, and more than that, my thanks to you for Hook. This is a movie that's going to be around for generations to come.
No, that'd be wonderful.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank